What is up, everyone? Welcome to Nickel City Mafia post-game show, a game in which the Bills won in dominating fashion, 40-19 over the Panthers. I'm sorry, 40-9, takeaway 10, 40-9 over the Panthers. It felt like the Bills played complimentary football, except for maybe special teams, but nearly a perfect game and a great way to get right heading into the Chiefs game this upcoming week. Let me introduce some of the coolest people, some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in podcast history. First, we got Mr. Nobody Cooler than Mr. Sean Kula. And then we got Mr. Podger, Mr. Buffalo himself. I mean, he should be Buffalo Jake because the man lives about 5 minutes from the stadiums, both of them. And he gives the latest and greatest on how that stadium's looking. And Jake, I know you talked about it last week, maybe wanting to talk about it. I don't think you have any pictures for us tonight, but how's that stadium looking?
Stadium looks really awesome from the outside, and there is a ton of work going into it day in and day out, 24 hours. It's 24/7 operation there. So, from the outside right now, they have like all the glass panels on and everything, and I see they've created some walkways and whatnot, and they're landscaping a little bit around it. So it's looking good, Mike. There is, I know that they mentioned already that it's probably not going to be like completed, like when it opens up, but it'll be completed enough to the point where they'll be able to see people and have regular season games there. So,
okay.
It looks great. I take it for granted. I pinch myself because it's like I drive by it every single day, on my way into work. And it's like, just living here and 7 minutes away, you see it every day, shouldn't take it for granted, but it's beautiful. It's awesome to look at,
Yeah. The only thing I heard that won't be completed is the serving of beer. So that's going to be awesome. No beer at the game.
Is that true? Get out.
Yeah, no beer. Like we will not have beer for the first season here at the stadium. No, of course not, Jake.
Insane.
Even if that was the case, they'd have Labatt's trucks pulling up in the parking lot and serving that way. But
no, we'd riot. We would riot as a fan base.
There's no way they wouldn't give those $20 beers out.
Right.
Yes, let's start with before we get into all the great stuff, and I want to hear some people because I haven't heard this official yet. I did see that, at Big L saying Oliver will be missed. Josh isn't himself. Something is up with him. So all I know of right now is Oliver went out of the game with a torn bicep. There is speculation that it could be a torn bicep, which could be season ending or at the very least, we wouldn't see him until playoff time. Has either of you heard any confirmations about this injury yet?
I have nothing confirmed, but in all my time in sports and powerlifting, I know a torn bicep. When I see one, as soon as he extended his arm and I saw his bicep all the way up his arm, I said, "Yep." Unfortunately, that's what it was. Now I'm pretty sure there's severities to it, but yeah, he's going to be out for at least a good chunk of time, unfortunately.
So you could see a visual. Like I did see him like holding his arm, but I couldn't see anything. I just thought that was like his muscle. They didn't look anything crazy to me.
Yeah. So Oliver, his arms, like his bicep connects usually like by the joint in the elbow. And then when he straightened it today, it was all the way up by his shoulder, kind of. Now mine, I have, they call them European style muscles. My bicep is already up high. It doesn't go all the way down to the elbow joint. But his are usually all the way down, and this arm was all the way up here. So, I'm not a doctor, but I've seen a lot of torn biceps.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can only hope. We'll probably find out hopefully tomorrow sometime. We'll see. But I want to say hi to some folks. We got Trek Reviewer coming in. I love it. Trek, he's like, well, first he's saying, hey, he's already expecting worse news here. He says trade for Quinnen Williams or defensive tackle Simmons. Man, I don't even know if those guys. I think of those two, who would be the most likely candidate where that team might be willing to deal?
Definitely Simmons. They got Quinnen Williams locked up there in New York, and also trading interdivision. I just can't see the Jets doing that. I would say Jeffrey Simmons certainly is probably looking to get out of Tennessee, considering what's going on there right now. It's an absolute nightmare, and come to a winning franchise like the Bills, that'd be great. But I love it, Trek. Good names, definitely great names.
Especially now with Oliver potentially being out for the regular season.
Yeah,
Walker's been really good, but without an Oliver in the middle, I think you definitely need a guy like Jeffrey Simmons in there.
Sean,
Well,
if
and
you
that
had-
leads me. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanted to ask, just both of you guys, what did you think of Larry Ogunjobi today? Do you think he looked the part, or was he like still getting in game shape, or what? What was your takeaways from his play today?
I didn't see enough of him, Jake. That's why I was asking in our group chat.
Yeah,
I didn't notice when he was on the field. Maybe I was watching something else, somebody else. But I'll throw it to Sean because I really didn't have. I don't have anything to say about him.
Out of the guys that came back, he was, the least impactful from a game watching standpoint. Obviously, we'll see when I watch the trenches on the film, but he wasn't bad, but he wasn't at Oliver, we'll say, but he wasn't. Oh my gosh, he makes no difference when he's out there. I thought he was all right, but definitely without Ed Oliver now, and he's probably going to be a starter. You might be a little bit, concerned at first, but like you said, I think we got to see a little bit more of him. But I would prefer to have someone else as well, like a real talented guy. I know Cody said the Titans already said they're never going to trade him, but it's got to come to a point where these teams like the Raiders, the Titans, the Jets, who have all these elite players, they're just wasting away their career for 6, 7, 8 years. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to. The Raiders and the Titans, they won't make the playoffs for 4, 5, 6 years. Get rid of those good guys, get a lot of capital for them, and let them go. I know they said they're not going to trade them, but I think if you say, hey, we'll give you a first round pick and maybe a player, they'll be okay, here you go. Because they're not looking good either. It's just wasting his time.
Yeah.
And he's not helping them win. So that's the other point.
Exactly. Jake, let me ask you though. We've all been wanting Bean to make a move for receivers. Do we pivot? Would you rather him go for a defensive tackle? If there was only one to be made, would you still go receiver, or would you go pivot now and just screw the receiver? Let's go defensive tackle.
I'm going receiver all day, especially with the news that Brian Thomas Jr. is somehow available via trade. I just don't even I can't even fathom the Jacksonville Jaguars getting rid of their first round pick from last year that went for like 1287 and 10 touchdowns and looks like the best receiver that they've had in years. It makes no sense to me. But if he truly is available, I am all in for that, Mike. I would sell the house to go get Brian Thomas Jr. Absolutely, make it happen, get it done, please.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would still go receiver if I can. Sean, you feel the same?
Yeah, I guess it depends who you're going to get. So if it's guaranteed they're going to get Brian Thomas Jr., I think I'd rather have a receiver. But if it's like, oh, we're going to bring in Gabe Davis or Jeffrey Simmons, then I'd be okay, go get the D tackle. But if it's guaranteed to get Brian Thomas Jr., I would definitely do that. Now again, it was said that they're taking calls for him. Doesn't mean they're going to actually do anything, but they could, because they got Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas is kind of struggling for him this year. He's on a rookie deal, new coach, new team. So who knows?
So Brian Thomas, the guy we wanted. What are you willing to give up, Jake? You willing to go big, sell out here? Give us some
absolutely.
big draft capital?
First round pick all day. Yeah, he's worth it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's give it first.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, let me just.
Or here you go. There you go, Brett. There's an idea. BTJ for Keon.
I wouldn't do that.
What?
I would keep Keon.
I would try, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to keep as many guys as you can, but if that's the case,
right? If that deal came across the board, Sean, I think you're jumping at that.
I don't think the Jags are doing that, though. To be honest with you, and you might be right, Cody. It could just all be BS and just a smokescreen to get the media talking and whatnot. So
I don't know. I feel like it's been. He says they don't move receivers on the first half of the contract, but I feel like I've seen that happen a lot. I can't think of any names, but I feel like it's not uncommon for someone to trade a guy on a rookie deal. That's when you trade people, is when they're on rookie deals. But the reason why I wouldn't trade Keon is because I don't think Keon's the issue with the way the team is. I think it's the play calling. They're not setting him up for his strengths. Like today, they ran a slant route with him, and he caught it. That's the type of play you got to run with him. You got to run slant routes. When you throw a 50-50 ball at him, like Mike always says, don't throw it at his stomach, throw it at above his head. So I don't think I would trade him just because I think he can still be an asset if you have another great receiver like Brian Thomas Jr. So it would kind of be not redundant, but productive if you got rid of a guy you're supposed to be high on, just to get another guy that's really good as well. But I think they could work good together.
Yeah, Big L's willing to give up a first and second pick for any premium player because he says Bean hasn't proven. Well, Bean has proven he can't pick premium players. Bean is an expert in picking the later rounds. Yeah, 100% Big L. And thanks for joining us tonight. I see Troy out there. Troy Gregory Media, good friend of mine, best friend of mine. Thanks for joining us again. And then
Troy, how about them Finns, huh? Yeah, 34-10? You kidding me?
And what team did they beat?
The Falcons. What the heck?
What is going on?
A Kirk Thuggins led Falcons team. I don't know.
On?
I mean, Drake London didn't play today. Don't get it twisted. But also, you expected a little bit more from that team. I can't figure it out. The NFL, it's the most confusing league in the world.
100%. So we're gonna switch. We're gonna start. My question is gonna start with Sean, and basically, because he is that trench guy. He loves the O-line. I think he loves talking about the O-line more than the defense, even though he does the trench talk. He talks about both. But you can tell he loves talking about that O-line. So, Sean, talk to us today. Cook goes crazy. Has a lot to do with him, Brady's play calling, that O-line. Let me throw it to you for your thoughts on what you saw from the offense today.
Yeah, I think they took the last two losses in the bye week personally, and they came out there just thumping everybody, mauling them. Now, there was a couple plays where Cook turned nothing into a lot, but there was also plays where he wasn't even touched up until 4 or 5 yards into the run. So I just thought even the tight ends as well, because I feel like the receivers and tight ends have been struggling to block the last couple of weeks. But as a unit helping the O-line, they all did good too. Like I said, the O-line probably A+ for run blocking. Cook, great vision. Even Reggie Gilliam on that big touchdown run.
I was going to say, you got to give my boy 41 some love here. That guy was, just incredible. Great job lead blocking. He was shifting all over the field. I mean, Greg Olsen talked him up a little bit, essentially calling him another tight end. Yeah, a lot of love for Reggie Gilliam.
Yeah, exactly.
You could see why he's an important piece to the offense, just in that aspect for sure.
That's why we got a fullback, because like you saw, the offensive line got their guys, and even going to the second level, all it was one guy, Gilliam on one guy, and to spring a big run, and it got Cook for a touchdown. And but yeah, even when I felt like we're getting predictable again, we're still able to dominate the run blocking. So I don't like to be too predictable, but I was really happy with how they did, and Cook had a career day, amazing.
We'll talk about Josh, Jake, because I'll let you announce the milestone that he hit today. But what do you think of it? What do you think of his performance today? Got too easy. For fantasy owners, got those 2 easy 1 yard touchdown tush pushes. But overall, what do you think of him? And why don't you let the folks know about the milestone that he hit today?
Yeah, the milestone in Panthers in their own stadium, in front of Greg Olsen as well. Passed his former quarterback Cam Newton for the most all-time games with a passing and rushing touchdown in the same game. So 66 total games doing that. Insanely impressive. You talk about consistency and just what he brings to the table. No matter what, I think Josh Allen will score a touchdown. However he does it, he'll get it done. So it is a beautiful thing. Now, the other side of it is I think there has been a lack of consistency with him throwing the football. And I don't know if it's just him, having an issue with trusting his receivers, maybe trying to make too many things happen, the receivers not getting open. But he has routinely been missing open receivers, like open guys. This isn't basically a couple weeks ago where no one could get open and he has nothing to throw to. Like, there were multiple times today he had open guys, and even last week in the previous week, and he was just missing these throws, and it's just uncharacteristic. It's something we haven't seen from him in a few years now, and it is a little concerning. And it could just be him trying too hard, and he's forcing these throws, and it's just not coming out right. Hopefully, it's not an underlying injury or anything like that. I would hope it's not, but he does not seem himself. There's something up there, and I hope they clean it up, because once you play a team like KC next week, right? Or a playoff team, or you're in the playoffs and you're down a few scores. I want to see the Josh Allen we saw in week 1 where he could battle from behind, threw for 394 and had himself a day. And by the way, James Cook had himself a day in that game too. So that's what I want to see. And I know it's crazy because we win this game 40-9 and you still have things to nitpick at. But if there is going to be anything to nitpick at, it's that. We got to clean it up because not every team is going to be the Carolina Panthers and kind of lay over like they did today. So that's my 2 cents about it.
Yeah, I'll throw it to Sean too, because it feels like, it's kind of, you have the MVP, right? And it's been like this. It was even like this last year. I mean, we got so spoiled with him lighting it up all the time, right? The Bills have kind of turned things on their head. They're going old school. They're more of a running team now, which is working. And that's those type of teams that can run the ball usually do extremely well, especially late in the year when you get into those colder snow games. So I'm loving it, but it is strange when you're seeing Josh he threw for 12 for 19, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. His QBR rating, which is one I put heavier over his quarterback rating, which was 108. QBR was 46.2. I will say Andy Dalton's was 4.2. I don't know if I've ever seen a score that low.
2 ahead of 3. 2 ahead of 3.4 last week.
Got a what?
Wow. 2 ahead of 3.4 last week. And I think he had a 2 a couple weeks before that.
So Sean, what are you seeing from Josh, man?
Yeah, it's weird because he still has really good plays, really good throws. But like I said, today specifically, there was one play where Elijah Moore beat a zone play where he had probably 15 yards of separation every single way, front, backwards, side to side. And Josh missed him by 15 yards. It wasn't even close. Like, he couldn't even get his hand on it if he wanted to. And it's like, it would have been a 25-yard play, maybe even more. It's like, those are the plays where you have to make. If you're playing Kansas City in the playoffs, if you don't make that play, you're not going to win the game. And there was one play, he threw it to Kincaid. He missed Kincaid. He threw it behind his back and missed him, but Coleman was 20 yards past him on a slant route, deep slant route, wide on a post route, wide open, and he probably would have got a touchdown. So it's like he's not. I feel like he's either not trusting himself or he's nervous because he threw a couple picks the last couple weeks and he doesn't want to turn the ball over. So he's maybe hesitating and then just not. The ball's not coming off properly. But like I said, he settled down a little bit in the game, and he's, like Jake said, he played fantastic in week 1 with 400 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. But it just seems like the last couple of weeks he's not a bum, but just not the same Josh that we're used to seeing. And I couldn't pinpoint it even if I tried, but he could just be in a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, for sure. Again, it's great that they can lean on this run game, and let's pivot away from Josh a little bit and talk about the hero of the game here, Mr. Cook, who ran for 216 yards. I think that's the second most in Bills history, that many yards in a single game. O.J. Simpson holds the record, I think, back in 1976. I posted it to you guys. What was it, like 273 yards?
Yeah.
278? 278 yards in one game by O.J. Simpson. But what? And again, if they wanted to push it, like James Cook, they didn't take, because James had that early third.
It's like 3 quarters.
Right?
Yeah.
They wanted to push it
the whole fourth quarter. So.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
153 at half. Was that what it was? 153 at the half?
Yeah, it was over 150. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Jonah, my son, was like, Dad, I hope they don't sit him. Let him go for the record. I'm like, I explained to him, like, look, man, if he was to go in trying to get that record and he got injured and lost for the season, that wouldn't be a good thing. But that's the case. He says
it's funny. They said on his last touchdown run, it was more likely they just wanted to get him to 200 yards and then take him out. But he scores a 21-yard rushing touchdown on the play, so might as well, right? Guy's incredible. It's so fun to watch him run. Like, he is such a unique back with the way that he runs too. It's so impressive. His vision is just so on point this year, and everything about it, his burst, everything. Like, this man needs to be the 100% focal point of the offense, and I'm okay with that, until we do finally get that true, like, number 1 receiver, if we ever do. But this is the man that the offense runs through, outside of JA-17, of course. Incredible. Just what a day.
Yeah, I've said it before. He reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. He kind
Yeah.
of just like he's waiting,
Patient.
vision, boom, gone off to the races, and he's got better speed than Le'Veon Bell ever had.
Mhm.
Le'Veon Bell was a little bit bigger runner,
Yep.
but very patient, and so Cook has been. I mean, it's just great how he waits, especially when he's going up the middle there. He just kind of sees that hole. But again, those are big holes by that offensive line being created. And they were going left, they were going right today. Everything was clicking on that run game.
I'd actually be curious to see how many yards he has running up the middle as
Yeah.
compared to the outside, because I feel like they got to be kind of close. Like you think, as James Cook being the guy that he is, 5'11", $190, most of his yardage is coming on the outside because he's fast and he can hit the corner like no one else, right? But I'll say this: I mean, you get him up the middle and he gets that breakaway speed. We saw it today. It's super impressive, and yeah, I would be curious to see what the yardage amounts are outside to inside for him.
Yeah, Sean, it was kind of exciting, Sean, that we had like 2 touchdowns over 50 yards. We haven't seen that
Yeah.
in a long
really
time.
good.
Cook takes one to the house from 64 yards out. Khalil Shakir, 54 yards out. Again, Khalil's wasn't that, like it was a deep bomb. I mean, it was just a beautiful throw. Was it about maybe 10, 15 yards down the field, and then he makes a move and he's off to the races, somewhere like that. But it's nice to see these big plays happening.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. Let's pivot now. Well, first of all, before we go to the defense, because they also turned their game up a little bit. You guys go ahead and talk about anything else we might have missed on the offense, because I mean, it was just fantastic all around. But Jake, you first.
Well, you got to give love to my boy 4-1. We already did a little bit of that, but I think the tight end play in general, I mean, you didn't see him as involved in the passing game, even though it was National Tight Ends Day, but all of them did a tremendous job blocking. I think Jackson Hawes especially. This is a dude that is so special and has been fantastic as he's been implemented in the offense. He caught 2 passes today for 15 yards as well, which you love to see. I think the added value that you get with him as a pass catcher, for as good of a blocker as he is just straight money. And honestly, I love Dawson Knox, but this is going to be our tight end too moving forward. Like, Dawson's good. He caught a pass today himself. I mean, I would love to keep all 3 if we can. But Jackson Hawes is special, man. I think he needs to be more involved in this offense the more and more we see from him. So want to give him a shout out. I do want to give a shout out to Keon Coleman on the slant routes, the quick slant routes. We brought that back for a hot second today. Use that kid's body. You know what? He's so good. He's a former basketball player. He knows how to box out. He knows how to win inside. And, once he does catch the football, he can be explosive with it. His game speed is really good. I know Brett had mentioned, too, that he was returning punts today. That is another skill set that he has that you wouldn't expect, because you see the 40 time, you think, oh, this guy's not a burner or anything like that. But the game speed is so much more important than that 40-yard dash time. And I did like what I saw. A couple things today. I did like what I saw from that. So I know we've been really hard on him the last few weeks, but I'm hoping that this is trending upwards and we can start to utilize him in the right manner as we continue here. So, yeah, awesome stuff. And then Khalil Shakir. I mean, freaking pinball. He does it again.
Pinball, baby.
I can't figure it out. It's incredible. It's fun to watch. It's just straight art. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you know when is Knox's contract up? What do we have him signed through?
I want to say he can be was it next year? I think he signed through 2026.
While we're waiting for you to look that up, Sean, your thoughts on the offense that you still want to get out there before we pivot?
Yeah, I mean, like Jake was saying, I was a little bummed we didn't use the tight ends more in the past game for National Tight End Day. Even they were saying on the broadcast when we got back to the 1, find a way to get one of them the ball. I mean,
yeah, right.
What's the difference between a 1-yard touchdown pass and a 1-yard touchdown run? You know what I mean? The touchdown pass helps 2 people. The run just helps 1 guy. So I rather would have had like a little corner to Haas or to Kincaid or something. But like Jake said, they were great blocking. And we're 5-0 when Haas catches a pass. I don't make up the rules. That's just how it's been. So
how about that?
Well, let's do the court. If we're 0-2 not throwing in the ball, let's give them at least 1 catch a game. But yeah, how many times have you seen a slant route get stopped in the NFL in your all your years watching? Not many times, right? So if you got a guy that's 6'5", the only corner I know that's 6'4" and above is Sauce Gardner, and you play him only twice a year. So if you got Keon Coleman on a one-on-one matchup with no safety help, if you're not dialing up a slant route for him, I don't know what you're doing, because you're gonna, as long as you throw the ball properly, you're gonna win that route every time, and unless he drops it. But I want to get 2 or 3 of those a game to him. But I mean, 1 or 2 today was fine.
Yeah, before we move on there, I want to say, like, the Panthers, man, they have stud wide receivers, 3 of them, Jake.
Yeah.
You got to see your guy. This is a guy that you wanted. I think you would have taken this guy. I think you wanted him over Coleman. Yeah. Was Xavier Leggett. Now, he wasn't the star today. It was, who's their young guy that you drafted?
Ted McMillan.
Yeah, Ted McMillan. They have Coker when they have Leggett. All of those guys are 6'3".
Yeah.
At least 6'3". It's insane. But the Bills put a nice little clamp down on them. Ted McMillan had 7 catches for 99. I thought someone was still going to get that 10-catch game against us, but they didn't. So let's pivot a little bit here. Let's pivot to that defense. And let's start with you on the defensive side, Jake. Did you think McDermott took a little more control of this game?
I think he did a little bit. I think he took it a little more personal, obviously, too, just because of the roots being in Carolina and whatnot. And I saw a lot of great things. You know, when I heard that Terrell Bernard was not really going to be playing today and it was going to be Dorian Williams and Shaq Thompson, I wasn't worried because they both have been playing really well this year. And Shaq Thompson looks like the Shaq Thompson of like 2020, you know, and he's coming back home to play here in Carolina, right? So it was a meaningful game for him. And I thought he played fantastic. I thought both linebackers played awesome. So initially that was, a concern going in. I was so excited to see Maxwell Hairston make his debut. I thought, 27 of 61 possible snaps he was in. Nothing that really stood out crazily to me, but he did have that one play. He had the one tackle that was pretty nice, but didn't do anything that was negatively affecting the game. I mean, he had a tall task and covering some of those receivers out there, but I liked what the defense did. I thought the D-line absolutely ate up. It was such a refreshing thing to see AJ Epinesa get an interception, make an athletic play, and then also Michael Hoyt. I mean, I think people were super confused initially when we signed him and like, how are we going to use this guy? And they talked up his athleticism and all these other things. And this dude not only plays with a chip on his shoulder, but the guy is athletic as hell. What did he have? 1.5 sacks today, a forced fumble. I mean, the stats were there to follow. You know, everything you could have hoped for in a debut from a new defensive end, you know. So I love it and really excited to see what happens with him as we go throughout the rest of the year. How about Greg Rousseau, too? He punched one out today. He had a sack today. I thought Greg Rousseau had a nice day. So you love to see the defensive ends eat, you know. I thought the defensive tackle play, again, Deion Walker had himself a day. Eddie was killing it. And then, of course, he had the torn biceps. I think Ogunjobi's still getting into football shape, to be honest with you, in game shape and whatnot. There wasn't a whole lot of splash moments from him per se, but I think we'll start to see some as we go on here. I know we talked about trades for defensive tackles, but am I super concerned about the position? No, I'm not. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to ride it, and we'll be fine. As long as the DNs keep playing the way they played, you know, things will be okay. So, that's about all I got.
AJ Epinesa on a contract here, playing like that. He's been on fire. Had interception, and what do you have? Did he have a sack as well?
He did have a sack. Yep.
Sack and an interception. Let me throw it to you, Sean, because man, whatever happened, whether it was McDermott taking more control or them just having 2 weeks to plan for this team, it was quite a difference, big time. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. Did we see Hoyt go inside? Because I think you mentioned he can go inside, and I felt like he did.
On that Oliver sack, he was lined up as a stand-up. He was standing up, but he was lined up as a D tackle. And then, it was you could do that, you know. But it wasn't. I don't think it was this. Yeah, it was Oliver's sack. But yeah, you can line him up anywhere, and he's fast and physical, and just a maniac. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you got anything else on the defense? I mean, because I agree with you, Jake. Hoyt brought energy, extra energy. Sean, what else you want to say on the defense side?
You remember what I said about Shaq Thompson on the Ruthless show?
I don't remember.
I said, he's played in Carolina since like McDermott was there, and he was playing there last year. He knows all their offensive calls. And on the AJ Epinesa screen pass interception, he literally called it out to the entire defense that this play was coming, and then they were all right there. And then AJ was able to intercept it. So, and even I told you guys on the show that I watched this one Panthers podcast for years, and when I was in there listening to them after the game, they even brought up like it almost seemed like they knew every play that we were going to do before it happened, and they weren't saying like, oh, it was cheating or anything. They were just saying, he's like, I don't know if it was just Shaq Thompson knowing everything, but it's like they knew everything we were going to do before we did it. And that's especially playing last year at a place that you've been forever, that makes a total difference. And let's not, I heard a lot of people outside of the Bills saying like, oh, well, it was Andy Dalton. Of course you put up 40 points, but Carolina wasn't winning because of quarterback play. They're winning because they were running for over 200 yards a game and they were dominating teams. And we shut that down. Now, to be fair, they gave Chuba Hubbard more carries than Rico Dowdle, who's been the one really cooking. But besides one run for 24 yards, we held Dowdle to eight for 54, no touchdowns, 34 yards for Hubbard, and part of that was in the fourth quarter when the backups were in. So I thought we did a fantastic job stopping the run. Of course, no media outlet or someone that's not a Bills fan is going to bring up how we did really good stopping the run. Next week it'll just be, oh, they can't stop the run. They're a horrible defense. But I thought they played outstanding. All the new guys put something into the game, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see. Bosa could have had 2 sacks, but he tripped Dalton. They called a trip on him. I think it was unintentional, but they got to call it. Again, Ed Oliver, just every game he plays was an instant impact. He had a sack in every game, at least one tackle for loss every game. And, he's out for a long time. He even posted, me in football right now is like oil and water. It just doesn't work. And it really stinks because he's been the one guy besides Allen that Beans drafted that he re-signed. That's always a fantastic player. And, we're going to have to learn how to win without him.
Well, first rounder too. Saying you can't draft in the early rounds. These were his 2 gems that he found, and yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I was really happy with the defense, and going into the Kansas City game where they can't really run the ball. Hopefully we figure something out in the secondary for this game. But I saw a lot of good things, and coming up your first game with the Buffalo Bills, getting a sack and a half and a strip sack for Hoyt, I think that was really awesome for him.
I'm going to double down with you, Sean, because on the pregame, first of all, you and I forget who else was it. It was John Robert. Based on the number of sacks, it was kind of funny. I was like, man, if we hit what you guys are talking about, we're going to have like 6 or 7 sacks. We had 7 sacks.
Yeah.
You had predicted that Oliver would have 2.5. He comes out of the gate at 1. I'm like, Sean's going to hit this on the head. He's going to get 2 or 3 this game. But we got 7 sacks. But I didn't want to double down with you, because I was not wanting Poyer to start. He did. What's your thoughts on what you saw from Poyer?
Again, for the passing, I thought nobody really did awful. Some of those plays, a couple of them were just Tedero and McMillan finding the zone and then making a good play, or beating Benford on a slant route. Again, slant routes almost are always completed, it seems. But yeah, I think Harrison did a good job covering. I thought Poyer did a good job as a safety. Bishop, he had one big run they had for 24 yards. He completely just over pursued and wasn't even in the play, and nobody was there. So, but yeah, I thought Poyer didn't stand out in a negative way. Made a couple tackles. Didn't really get beaten coverage. So I think we can chalk it up to a solid day.
Do you see how it impacts, though? You don't even have to talk about the secondary or the safeties when your D-line plays that well. Everything takes care of itself. You win in front like that, you're not even worried about the secondary whatsoever. And yeah, we did fantastic. Ted McMillan had a nice day, 7 for 99, whatever. I'm good with that. The team had 244 total yards of offense against us, though. And Sean, you talked about the biggest story of this. It's how are we going to stop the run game? This is the worst run defense in football, right? The Buffalo Bills. That's what everyone's been saying. Well, guess what? Rico Dowdle has been one of the hottest backs outside of Jonathan Taylor over the last 3 weeks here, and we only allowed 54 yards of total rushing yards for him. And like you said, had it not been for that 24-yard scamper, well, we would have only had, 30 yards on 7 carries? I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. And same with Chuba Hubbard, only averaged 2.8 yards a carry. He had the 1 touchdown, the garbage time touchdown at the end. Whatever. Helps my fantasy team. I'll take it. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to my fantasy team. But yeah, it's like, whatever. I love it. I think it's a great defensive performance, something to hang your hat on. And
for sure.
They should be proud of themselves. Yeah, it was a great day. It was a good statement day for them. Absolutely. Good old-fashioned football game.
Yeah, they needed that. And, going back to your point on not stopping the run, obviously they've been really bad in allowing big runs, chunk runs, tackling in general. They've been like that for years, though. But Breece Hall, really good back, kept him to nothing. Yep. The backfield for the Panthers kept them to nothing. And there was the Patriots game that neither running back did anything good. I mean, Stevenson had 2 rushing touchdowns, but they were like 2 yards. So, I mean, there's been games where we were horrible, and there was games where we were really good. So we just got to get in the middle overall. And this defense could be good enough to do something special. But, obviously everyone talking about the division, on the media, they have to talk about it before the games and stuff. A lot of people's reason for picking the Patriots is because our defense isn't good. But the defense can play like this, or maybe, you're not going to get 7 sacks every week. But if you could stop the run like we did today, maybe give up a little bit more and then just be decent in coverage and rushing the passer, this team can do a lot of special things. So it was encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. We didn't have Milano. Again, we don't seem to have Milano, but he, in a pinch, he probably could have played, but I think they're holding him out for the KC game. And then Bernard was active. He was just in there for an emergency case, right? If things went severely wrong. But Williams, and I saw some Buffalo Joe in there, and Shaq Thompson. Actually, Joe Andreessen had the most tackles from any of our linebackers at 7. But yeah, I thought the linebacking crew played really well, and those aren't even our starters. So assuming we get our starters back at the right time, going with KC coming in, man, I mean, and you're right, Jake, that defensive line makes everyone. We've always said this for years. Good defensive line makes everything behind you look better. Even Trey White, I thought, had a good game, man. Like, you didn't hear his name much at all. It was like, dang, okay, Trey's been getting picked on. He's the one guy that everyone talks about, but didn't hear his name, and that's a good thing, I think, right? So good stuff, man. Good stuff. How'd you think Cam Lewis did today, Jake?
Well,
Trek reviewer out there.
I want to hear what Trek reviewers thinks of Cam Lewis's day today.
He said hashtag Cam Lewis. First time I haven't heard him say.
He didn't say the words cut. But,
maybe he's just coming to the realization that that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because I thought I saw Poyer start, but it felt like whenever it was 3rd down and long, did Poyer go out and they'd bring in
Cam was out there?
Cam would come in.
I think at this point in his career, I mean, Poyer is not going to be a coverage guy. He is strictly going to be relied upon for physicality and making tackles.
Yeah. Okay.
Cam Lewis is definitely much better. I think he's less of a liability, if you will, in coverage right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I was thinking too. Because
I gotta say, Mike, I talked about it in the message. He did 2 bad things, but they were both in the same play. So it was 3rd and 10. He committed a penalty that would have gave him a first down anyway, but then he also got beat. So it's like, well, I can't really be mad at him for getting beat because he would have gave up the first down anyway for the penalty. So, I mean, other than that, again, nobody was really, when you're watching it, maybe it's because we were killing them all game, but I didn't watch anybody in the secondary, and I was like, again, this guy just keeps getting destroyed every rep. So definitely a great improvement from the last couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, you didn't say anything when Poyer got called for that holding call.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what Chuck says. And by the way, I do love what Cody's saying here. Extend.
Love it, Cody.
Cam.
Love it.
Extend them all day.
Hey, how about your Texans, Cody? Put some respect on their name. Beat the Niners today.
Dang.
CJ Stroud looking like vintage CJ Stroud. Absolutely dominated. You thought maybe with Nico Collins out, he wouldn't have another 300-yard passing game till he came back. All of a sudden,
Of course,
this guy
they're
throws
getting-
what 3-something, something like
They're
that.
getting good right before they get the playoffs, and then that'll be
Yep.
fun. Fantastic.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone because I forget. Please
318.
smash that like button. Just take a second, smash it for us. Helps the channel out. And if you're new to the channel, drop a nickel on that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We really do. So thanks all for joining us tonight. So almost a lot. It's always a lot more fun when we have you guys out there in the chat. And Weston, I was waiting for Weston or Chad the Chief, because we're switching gears here after today. It's Chiefs week, and oh boy, biggest games, one of the biggest games of the year every year. Mr. Podger and Kula will be at that game, by the way.
Can't wait.
They are undefeated whenever they go to a game together. Let's keep that streak going. But anyhow, thanks for joining us, Weston. Good to see you. And he says, keep Cam Lewis, keep keyword. That fell out. All right, we're definitely keeping him here, Weston, for sure. I feel like I do have to, if you caught me on the pregame with Sean, I was like, oh man, I might have to buy one of those mini helmets if Poyer does start.
You got to now.
I was joking though, and not then. I said I posted in the group chat. I'm like, I was looking at what these helmets were, and Poyer's autograph was still commanding like $159
Wow.
for a signed mini helmet. But guess what I found? I found a discounted helmet. It was his Dolphins signed mini helmet.
I did see that now. Yeah.
You get that for about $79. I'm like, I didn't say which helmet I had to get.
Well, you don't have to get an expensive one. You can get even just a little one from a quarter machine.
I'll get right. I'll get one of those little ones, a keychain or something like that. I'm gonna have to get something.
There you go.
Comedian Mo Brown joining us. Go Bills. Good stuff. I mean, Joe Brady. Fired from the Panthers. Probably always good to beat his former team, right? And of course, McDermott, who spent years there before he became head coach with the Bills. Just a great game. But you'd expect this, having 2 weeks to plan against the team. And I think McDermott's pretty good coming out of buys. Is he not undefeated coming out of buys?
Yeah, 7-0. Yeah, now 8-0 actually.
9-0.
Oh, 9-0.
Yeah, Josh is 8-0. He's 9-0 from
Got it.
2017. Yeah.
Nice.
Impressive.
See, Ryan.
9 years of McDermott.
Ryan, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you. And he says, Bean better bring some players and fire Babbage. Ooh, let's talk
Wow,
about that
I don't know. After that performance, nice defensive performance.
So you brought it up. You brought it up earlier to Jake, but
yeah.
Weston put in the Discord that they asked McDermott if he called plays, and he said yeah. And but the week prior at press conferences, he said, "I got full confidence in Babbitt and Bobby. I believe in the staff. Blah blah blah." And then now when they asked him, he said, "Yeah, I was calling plays also with Bobby." So it's like he was taking the credit for it, but trying to say, "Oh yeah, but Bobby was still involved in the." But especially if you played, it's too quick of a time where you can't be. Hey, you want to run this play? Yeah, let's do that. Like you have to say a play. Yeah. So he said that they did it together, but it was probably just him calling it. And if he was the one calling the plays, continue to do that. If Bobby was calling the plays, let Bobby do it. But again, we're never going to know for sure. But the fact that McDermott said that he was calling them with him made me feel like, yeah, he was calling the plays. I wouldn't put it past him. He used to take the play calling away from Frazier, who was a very good defensive coordinator in his whole time coaching football. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day on the pregame, Sean. I said he needs to take over. Wouldn't you? Yeah. If you're a very good defensive coordinator, people attack you for some, games like the 13 seconds and that. But overall, throughout his career, he's been a very good defensive coordinator. If you're the head coach and a great DC and you see your defense struggling, I'm going to take that personally if that's me. And I'm going to be like taking over a little bit. I'm like, all right, Bobby, look, you got to get back on track. I'm sure. I don't know how much. Like, was it all the play calling or certain play calling? We'll never know. We'll never find out. But I think even on Matt Perino or Ryan from the Buffalo Shout also said similar things as well. I don't know if anyone. Oh, they did ask him, right, on the presser. Somebody asked him.
That's probably where Weston got it from.
Okay, that's probably where it is. Yeah. So hey, keep it going. I'm agreeing with you, Sean. I don't think you fire Mr. Babbage because we just don't know. We don't know.
Wouldn't
We'll
mind
never know.
this though. I listen, Jim Schwartz. You want to talk
Schwartz?
about sacking the quarterback? He was, I believe, he was the DC the last time we had multiple 10-sack guys on the defensive line. So, yeah,
Garrett had 5 sacks today.
did he? He had 5. Holy
did?
smokes, man!
Who did?
I don't realize he had
Garrett
5.
5 against
Wow.
the Patriots today.
Wow.
But then
Sheesh.
he's on the sideline slamming his helmet on the ground. It's like, you can't be mad. You chose to be. You could have went to any team in the NFL, and you chose to stay there for $45 million a year. You said this is where you want to be. Now you got to be 2-6. You're never going to win a playoff game. Never going to win a division, and you just got to deal with it.
Yep.
But you get your Hall of Fame numbers for sure.
Right.
Garrett has 5 sacks and 8 ERI. What's that?
He probably just typoed.
Typoed. All right.
Yeah.
Ryan says
He had 5 sacks in one game. That was crazy. Oh yeah, still.
I know that's true. Yeah, the irony, right? Yeah. Well, what was it? 2014 was that the Kyle Orton year where we went 9-7. Offense was actually okay. They were kind of cooking. It was Sammy's rookie year. He had 900 something yards, set the touchdown record as a rookie for himself for receivers.
Yeah, isn't it weird sometimes? Like 9-7, we didn't make the playoffs, but you can make the playoffs now at 9-8, and so it's like we had a drought, but we had a couple of years where we probably could have made the playoffs if it was a different time.
Yeah, and actually, I just looked it up. He only had 6 touchdowns that year, 982 yards though his rookie year. Sammy Watkins, 2014 Bills. Those were some dark days. Doug Marrone is the head coach. Sheesh. Nathaniel Hackett,
Oof.
OC.
Oh, boy.
Nat Hackett.
Man. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's go around the horn here and give away a game ball. 1 game ball for the defense. Somebody on the defense can't give it to the group. I know we'd love to. And 1 game ball for the offense. Obviously, one of you has to give it to Cook. So let's not use all of it on Cook, but obviously, let's just say this: Cook already has one. Cook is the star of the game. He's got the trophy. He was the MVP of today's game. We'll give him that. It's better than a game ball. Special little trophy. He gets it. We're giving a game ball to on both sides of the ball, and that will start with Mr. Podger on this one.
All right. Actually, start with Sean. I'll be right back.
All right, John. Oh, he's going to go get. He's going to get the Gilliam jersey. He's probably switching out into the Gilliam jersey.
I should just pick Gilliam now, so he doesn't
save Gilliam for him.
So 1 on offense, 1 on defense. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So since I can't give it to whole units anymore, I'll just say I'll give Osiris Torrance a game ball because
Torrance.
we talked about it before. Derek Brown is one of the best D tackles in the NFL, and I don't even know if he got a tackle. He's mainly lined up on Torrance's side, so I will give Torrance a really a good game ball. Well deserved. I don't even think he gave up pressure. Again, I don't think Brown had any stat to talk about. Now the PFF grade post game, Torrance had almost a 90 pass blocking grade.
Wow.
Again, it's going to change because it's like they got to go rewatch and double check everything. But he was the highest rated offensive lineman, and the eye test showed me he did a very good job against one of the best D tackles. And then for defense, can't be Oliver. He's going to be done. But I'll give it to Hoyt. Came back in first game, get a sack and a half, a strip sack. You're getting rowdy when you're up by 40 points, getting into scuffles. That's the type of energy you need. So keep it up, and I will just not to go on a huge tangent, but if you guys remember my Greg Rousseau video from years ago where I talked about every single defensive end in the league, he was actually, as far as statistics go, one of the worst ones at that time when I did that. And when I heard that we were getting him, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, I remember talking to, he was one of the worst people that I was talking about. But then when you see how you could use him, I was like, maybe he could be good here. And he's been good so far.
How about it? I love it.
Right,
Jake, we knew where you were going to go when you left the camera. We called it already. But let me just point out Weston's comment here. How about Steve Tasker up for the Hall of Fame? Hasn't Steve Tasker been up for the Hall of Fame a few times now, if not many? And they just never seem to get enough votes here. So he deserves it. Hopefully this is the case. Yes, Weston. I hope it finally gets through, but we'll see. Been up there. He's been up for the Hall of Fame before. All right, Jake.
It's time. Put him in.
Game ball for you for both the offense and the defense.
Well, I just want to paint a picture to you. It was what was it? Midway through the second quarter. You know, it was a 6-3 game at this time. It was kind of looking bleak offensively. Things just, I mean, we're running the ball effectively. Things are going well. Then all of a sudden, 64-yard touchdown run out of nowhere. Lead block.
Yes.
None other than the man, the myth, the legend, Reggie Gilliam. Are you kidding me? The guy had himself a day today. Put some respect on his name. You know, listen, you know me. I'm a huge fullback guy. We're one of the few offenses in the NFL. We're one of maybe like 6 teams that still uses a fullback. But I absolutely love it. I'm here for it. The guy is a do-it-all player. He does it offensively. He plays specials. He can line up at the tight end position. He can catch passes across the middle if you want him to. He's a great lead blocker. Mike, why aren't we running him every once in a while? We may as well, right? The guy can do it all. He's an athlete. Reggie Gilliam, one of the greatest undrafted players that the Buffalo Bills have signed in years. That's my game ball offensively. I think he had a tremendous day today, and you don't see him on a stat sheet, but you see him in your heart, and you see him out there on the field just absolutely crushing and doing things selflessly for his teammates. So shout out to 41, Reggie Gilliam. I am such a fan. Always have been, always will be. That is my ride or die for the Buffalo Bills.
The man, the myth, the legend. That's hysterical, and I absolutely love it. The man,
that's right.
Myth, the legend. Great stuff, Jake.
Yep.
We got on the defensive side, sir.
Yeah, defensive side, I got to give it to AJ Epinesa. You know, we talked a little bit about him just making an athletic play, right? It looked like it was like a rewind of the Dolphins version that we always seem to get with AJ Epinesa, you know, intercepting passes and sacking the quarterback and doing things that he should have been doing throughout his entire career, right? It was nice to see. I'm encouraged by it, and, you know, got to give him some love. So, absolutely, Epi deserves it. AJ Epinesa.
Yeah, like I said, he's on that contract here, and the switch has been flipped, and he's always been on that edge of just being a monster. And here we are, 6 games into the year, 7 games in the year, and he's lighting it up. So keep it going, AJ. That's fantastic, especially with all the other guys we got back this week. Sean, who did you go with on the offensive side?
Torrance.
All right, Torrance.
Love
I'm going to go with pinball. And yes, I coined that term. If you hear anyone else using it, let me know. We will claim copyright and might send them a letter to, was it called cease and desist or something like that?
Yeah.
Me and Jake will bring one to our friend Sal Capaccio. He said it a couple weeks after you, and I was like, I don't know. They might jump on to Sal saying it instead of Mike. They got a little bit more viewers than we do.
What I need you two guys to do at the Chiefs game is bring the sign pinball. Pinball is, been phrase has been created by Nick City Mafia. Let's go.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give Khalil that. I was gonna go Epinesa, but I'm gonna go with Deon Walker. He continues to have he got another half a sack today, fumble recovery. The dude just continues to shine, and we're gonna need him more with Oliver potentially being out for an extended period of time. So Deon Walker, just getting better every game, man.
He sure is. Yeah. I love this, Cody. British Brooks. Absolutely. Just a unit. What was he? UNC guy, right? UNC, I want to say. British Brooks. Great fullback for the Houston Texans, and your boy Woody Marks helping him out there. Yeah.
That was
another undrafted guy.
British
Brooks. That's his name. Yeah. You can look him up right now. He's starting fullback for the Texans. Yep.
By the way, I do want you to let you know that I have many cousins in the league. Corey Thornton for the Panthers. He's played a little bit today. Had a couple tackles. I want to say, give him a shout out.
I love it.
Way to go, Corey.
Way to go, Corey.
Him and Taekwon.
Him and Taekwon Thornton.
And Dante, too, over
my son Jonah was very surprised when I showed him. I told him about Taekwon. He's like, really? That's our cousin? How'd that happen? Try to come up with some story.
That's great. I love it.
Oh man! Once again, smash that like button for us and share. We're trying to get to the 2,000 mark. I mean, just 2,000. We're like 57 subs away. That's it. We just want to get to 2,000. Help us out. Thank you all for everything you do. But last thoughts here, going around the horn, and then we'll close this out with a big win. We'll start getting ready for Chiefs week. First, Mr. Kula.
You know, I was sitting on my couch thinking for a minute. I said, this is the best time of year. There's football, there's Halloween, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas. It's such a magical time. Like, you feel like this is where you want to be all the time throughout the years. Forget summer. Yeah, I love baseball, basketball. Forget all that. So yeah, sometimes we may not look our best. We may not win every game, but damn it, I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, I might get upset sometimes, but it comes and goes quick. So yeah, 5-2 should be better, but I'm going to enjoy every little second of this season, and hopefully it works out good. But once it's gone, you're going to be sad for months. So
yeah,
try to enjoy it.
For sure. Victor, yes, big game for us. If Green Bay is able to pull off that win against the Steelers, Bills move into 4th place. So I want to keep moving up the board here. And again, Chiefs week, what a big game it's going to be. We'll have to put some rules in the Discord. By the way, we have a Discord. It's absolutely free. Talking sports all week long, mostly football these days, but we talk baseball, basketball, any sport you want, fantasy football. Join us there. It's absolutely free. But we're going to put some rules out there in Chief Week, because we usually, one of our teams is upset, usually during the regular season. Weston and Chad the Chief, they get a little upset, and then they get revenge of us in the playoffs, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how I can set some rules there. I'll have to set some rules so you can't go on the Chiefs thread and just start bombarding them with negative stuff. But for you, Jake, what's your final thoughts today, sir?
I love what Sean said. I think gratitude is the word, right? And by the way, I want to give Victor a shout out. What a beautiful profile picture there. Is that the game-winning touchdown in the greatest comeback game that you got up there? Absolutely love to see it. I didn't even notice
that. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful.
Nice.
Absolutely beautiful. I really, you want to take some time to truly appreciate what's going on. I mean, it comes and goes so fast, and just as fast you lose this beautiful time span that we're in. Like, we are in the middle of watching one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I know we talked a little bit about hey, his game was a little off today and whatnot, but he still does things. The impact that he leaves on this game is so incredible. It is, you have to game plan for him before anyone else. And I think it does open it up for other guys to shine. James Cook had a monster day today. It was beautiful to watch. But at the end of the day, I know we were a little hard on Josh to begin with, and it's rightfully so. He'd probably tell you I'm not playing up to my standards himself. But it is still an absolute blessing to be able to watch him every single week in and week out. So, I just, I don't want anyone to get it twisted that we're hating on him or anything like that, because we're not. That's not what we're trying to do here. So that's one thing. Secondly, it feels good to score 40 points. I mean, it feels like it was almost, and an effortless 40 points. I mean, it just went so fast, and things just were clicking left and right. It was old school football today, and it's my favorite type of football, if I'm being honest with you. I know people want to see passing and flashes and all that stuff, but gosh, I mean, James Cook was averaging over 10 yards a carry. I mean, what's not fun about that, right? Yeah. Really encouraged by it, and just want to see the usage continue to go up with him. And sure, it'd be fun to watch the Buffalo Bills go and get a Brian Thomas Jr. as well. So we'll see what happens. Put it out there.
If more teams can go old school with the run, Jake, I might bring back big linebackers. Maybe we pivot away from the small. Let's bring back the big linebackers. And I'm going to use for Josh, I'm going to use something that Weston says all the time about his Chiefs, that they're holding back. They don't want to show everything. So Josh has been holding it all back for this Chiefs game. And I'm telling you now, he's going to have a big game. Whether we win or not, it'll be we'll see. But Josh Allen will be talking about a great game again. So thank you, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Jake. Thank you for everyone out in the chat tonight. Always fun with you guys. You'll see us on Wednesday. We do the Mafia Midway. Great little show. And then we have our pre-games on Friday. Oh, no, this week. A little different. Sean traveling to Buffalo. He's traveling to Buffalo. He'll be there Saturday, late Saturday night. We will have our pregame with these two guys right there, Jake and
Hell
Sean.
yeah.
Maybe Brett will join. Maybe I'll join, but might just leave it to those two. And then we'll have our post game next Sunday as well. Big game next week. So let's turn the page.
Coming
Let's
for you,
enjoy it.
Weston.
Yeah, let's go, Weston.
Coming for you.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, rest in peace, Nick
Real
Mangold. Do
quick,
you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely got to talk about it. I mean, this is a guy that we grew up watching, and he played for the New York Jets. But at the end of the day, it's a human being, and one of the better offensive linemen of our time. I mean, a Hall of Fame worthy player, Hall of Fame worthy person. Incredibly sad. It's something you just don't want to even believe. I know Rex Ryan got real teared up on the pregame too on ESPN, and he was talking about some of the great moments and how Nick Mangold came to him and he knew Rex Ryan was getting fired, and he didn't really have to play in the game, but he's like, I'm going to play in this game for you, coach. And God, it just absolutely kills you. It just awful, absolutely awful. Rest in peace to one of the great ones, and just a great man, great human being. Unfortunate,
incredible person. Again, obviously I'm a Bills fan, but watching some Jets games as a kid, and you watch him and you just automatically gravitate to him, and he's probably part of why I even got into trenches in the first place, because you just watch him just dominate. Talk about athleticism. He's probably one of the first centers I ever known to pull as a center and run blocking, and just absolute animal in the game. And good friends with Eric Wood. There was a podcast last year I watched with them, and you could just tell they have such a great friendship and connection. And it's just it's an awful thing, and praying for the family. And it's it shows how important organ donation is. Sometimes you got to wait years to get something, and it's a really important thing.
Yeah, 41, only 41, man, and I think it was kidney disease that did him in, and just gone way too young, man. Super sad. But we'll always remember what he brought to the game, and again, praying for his family, and yeah, tough loss there.
You talk about he had to follow the footsteps of Kevin Mawai, a Hall of Fame center in his own right, and he had to come in and take over for him. And what he did is just incredible. I mean, I'll always remember watching him play. It was great.
All right. Well, let's end it on that point, and we'll see you guys soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.